The top 10 most streamed movies chart. Gru and his minions catch up to Kevin Costner's Western epic on streaming. The minions might be taking over streaming. However, even two movies from the Despicable Me franchise aren't enough to catch up with Kevin Costner's Western thriller. There's a lot of variety on streaming this week. From box office hits such as Moana and Interstellar, to action-packed comedies Rush Hour and The Fall Guy, audiences gravitate to familiar flicks to keep them entertained. But if you're looking for something new, a 2025 international thriller just hit streaming as well to keep things fresh. Check out the top 10 most streamed movies in the US. Each pick comes with a quick summary to keep up with trends. With a variety of selections, there's a reason why audiences are tuning in to these trending movies. Read more about the best movies available on streaming. The 51 best movies on Netflix right now, February 2025. The 52 best movies on Max right now, February 2025. The 54 best movies on Amazon Prime Video right now. Editor's note: the Nielsen streaming data is delayed by 4 weeks, so this list reflects the top 10 from January 6th to 12th, 2025.
10.
Rush Hour. Platform: Netflix. Minutes watched: 222 million. Director: Brett Ratner. Cast: Jackie Chan, Chris Tucker, Ken Leung. It's East meets West in Rush Hour. A comedic cultural clash that shook Hollywood, the film follows two cops from different opposites of the earth who couldn't be any more different. Hailing all the way from Hong Kong, Detective Inspector Lee, Jackie Chan, takes his job, remaining loyal throughout his mission. Meanwhile, Detective James Garter, Chris Tucker, of the LAPD is not only bold and reckless, he could really learn how to keep his mouth shut. The two can barely tolerate each other in the same room, but if there is anybody who could save a kidnapped 11-year-old from a bunch of criminals, it's them.
9.
Moana. Platform: Disney Plus. Minutes watched: 233 million. Director: John Musker, Ron Clements. Cast: Ollie Cravalho, Dwayne Johnson, Rachel House. Nothing beats the sparkling blue waters, sandy beaches, and the tropical sunshine of Motunui. But when all of this lush nature gets taken away, it's up to one person to bring it all back. Moana tells the story of a young Moana Waialaki, Cavalho, who is destined to rescue Motunui. As her island home loses its crops and fish, her island home is on the brink of destruction. The only way to rescue Motunui is by retrieving the heart of Te Fiti, the goddess of nature, and returning it back to her. Moana must hurry. Not everyone wants to see her succeed in her quest. A light-hearted celebration of heritage, culture, and family, Moana is just as enjoyable for adults as it is for children.
8.
Interstellar. Platform: Netflix. Minutes watched: 236 million. Director: Christopher Nolan. Cast: Matthew McConaughey and Hathaway, Jessica Chastain. There's a universe waiting to be explored in the breathtaking odyssey of the film Interstellar. Set in a future where Earth is on the brink of collapse due to environmental catastrophe, Joseph Cooper, Matthew McConaughey, a former NASA pilot turned farmer, is recruited for a last-ditch mission to save humanity. Along with a team of scientists, he gets sucked through a wormhole to find a habitable planet. But this heroic, noble pursuit forces him to make impossible choices, leaving behind his children, particularly his daughter Murph, Jessica Chastain, who grows up believing he abandoned her. A sci-fi epic with a lot of heart, Nolan's body of work is a grand exploration of humanity's greatest frontier.
7.
The Fall Guy. Platform: Peacock. Minutes watched: 247 million. Director: David Leitch. Cast: Ryan Gosling, Emily Blunt, Aaron Taylor-Johnson, Hannah Waddingham, Teresa Palmer, Stephanie Sue, Winston Duke. In The Fall Guy, Colt Seavers Gosling, a battle-worn stuntman fresh off a near-disastrous accident, is back in action, whether he likes it or not. His latest death-defying gig requires him to track down a missing movie star, uncover a messy conspiracy, and try to win back his ex, all while diving through the glass and getting blown up for a living. Definitely no pressure for this seasoned trained professional, except that his career is practically on the line. As Colt tries to keep his employment, he'll have to prove his worth and capability through every dangerous scene, performing the ultimate stunt whenever he possibly can. Forget the average Hollywood fight scene. Colt's taking to extremes with every jump, fall, and punch.
6.
Ad vitam. Platform. Netflix. Minutes watched. 275 million. Director. Rodolphe Lago. Cast. Guillaume Canet. Stephen Caillard. Nassim Lies. Paris may be the city of love, but for ex-elite agent Frank Guillaume Canet, it's his personal hell. Ad vitam introduces audiences to Frank and his wife Leo, Stephen Caillard. From their meet-cute days as GIGN trainees, over the next few years, the two got married and are finally expecting a child of their own. But their moment of parental bliss is rudely interrupted when their house is ransacked not once, but twice. Things get worse when they're visited by masked men who force Frank to tell them what he knows. With Frank completely in the dark about what they're talking about, they kidnap his pregnant wife instead. With a truth waiting to be discovered, Frank rushes to find his wife, all while revisiting a past death of a close friend.
5.
Furiosa, a Mad Max saga. Platform. Max. Minutes watched. 288 million. Director. George Miller. Cast. Anya Taylor-Joy, Chris Hemsworth, Tom Burke, Aola Brown. Furiosa, a Mad Max saga, is the gritty origin story of the fierce warrior audiences all fear and admire. Kidnapped as a child from the lush haven known as the Green Place of Many Mothers, young Furiosa, Taylor-Joy, is thrust into the ruthless clutches of warlord Dementis and his savage biker horde. For years, she endures their brutal rule. But Furiosa isn't just a passive prisoner. She's a survivor, quietly plotting her escape while mastering the brutal art of survival in the unforgiving wastelands. When Dementis locks horns with the infamous Immortan Joe, the ensuing chaos sparks a brutal battle for power. Seizing her chance, Furiosa unleashes her fury, sparking a vengeance-fueled mission to reclaim everything ripped from her. 4. In the Heart of the Sea. Platform. Netflix. Minutes watched. 368 million. Directors. Ron Howard's cast. Chris Hemsworth, Benjamin Walker, Cillian Murphy. In the Heart of the Sea brings the story of Moby Dick to life, taking place during the disastrous voyage of the Essex in 1820. When the New England whaling ship is decimated by a vengeful white sperm whale, the surviving crew is left stranded in the vast Pacific, forced to confront not just one of Mother Nature's biggest monsters, but also the uncertainty of their impending mortality. As Captain George Pollard, Benjamin Walker, struggles to lead, and his skilled but bitter first mate, Owen Chase, Chris Hemsworth, has a personal vendetta, these fragile men grapple with starvation, despair, and the unthinkable to stay alive. 3. Despicable Me. Platform. Netflix. Minutes watched. 386 million. Directors. Pierre Coffin, Chris Renaud. Cast. Steve Carell, Jason Segel, Russell Brand. I'm having a bad day. It's about time I get my way. No words have rang truer for aspiring baddie Gru, Steve Carell, of Despicable Me. In a sunny, white picket-fenced suburban neighborhood, Gru and his clan of beady-eyed, overly enthusiastic minions are secretly planning their biggest villainous scheme to date, stealing the moon. He's planned everything in his arsenal: shrink rays, freeze rays, and vehicles designed to withstand all kinds of terrains. Gru's all set to become public enemy number one. What he doesn't expect is 3 little orphaned girls suddenly knocking on his door. It seems like Gru has finally found his match: parenthood.
2.
Despicable Me 2. Platform. Netflix. Minutes watched. 505 million. Directors. Pierre Coffin, Chris Renaud. Cast. Steve Carell, Kristen Wiig, Benjamin Bratt. Gru is back in Despicable Me 2. Following his unexpected encounter with his would-be 3 daughters, Gru is now settling into a quieter life and running a jelly business. But the world of villainy just can't get enough of him. When a secret Arctic lab vanishes into nowhere, Agent Lucy Wilde, Kristen Wiig, recruits Gru to track down whoever's responsible, leading him to the long-thought-dead Eduardo Perez, Benjamin Bratt. Back home, things are just as chaotic. From Margot developing a crush to his minions disappearing, Gru must crack the case before things peak for the worst.
1.
Horizon, an American Saga, Chapter 1. Platform, max minutes watched, 753 million. Directors, Kevin Costner. Casts, Kevin Costner, Sienna Miller, Sam Worthington, Will Patton, Jamie Campbell Bower. Spanning 15 years before and after the Civil War, Horizon, an American Saga, Chapter 1 follows families, friends, and enemies as they navigate the hardships of westward expansion while grappling with a nation tearing itself apart. Through the eyes of those who lived it, audiences witness the grit, heartache, and hope that defined the American frontier. A look into the personal struggles and triumphs of those living through one of the most turbulent times in American history, the film explores what it truly meant to be part of a country at war with itself.